Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round 2 of season 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And if you guys missed round 1 for the Australian Grand Prix and the start of the new season, then go watch the episode, guys. It'll be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. So go watch that before we jump into this episode and into any further spoilers. But for this one, guys, we have no rain expected for the Bahrain Grand Prix, as you'd expect, as we are in the middle of the desert. But we have some news and some upgrades for this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they were successfully carried on, and they have been completed, which is good news. So no failures, and we've got a tyre upgrade and also a weight reduction one as well. So a very good package, and the tyre wear one's going to be the X factor, the real important one here. We need to keep working on that because our car has a lot of tyre wear this season due to the upgrades over the winter. It's given us extra tyre wear. The good news is that you can see we actually take a massive step towards Racing Point, and we're a solid midfield team now, which is fantastic. So we're making some big progress and really closing that gap to the teams in front of us. And overall, it's great to see the Williams car progressing so nicely as we now jump into practice here for the first practice session. And I did the track acclimatization, the tyre wear test, and the fuel management in this first FP1 session. I then did the race strategy and qualifying performance test in FP2 in the night time, so I got much more of a realistic representation of the true pace of the car. And for this weekend, guys, I'm actually going to try and do 110% AI around here. I normally do 108. I did do 108 for practice only, but I'm going to try and go 110 for qualifying and race, so it should be quite interesting. I've never done 110 around here. I've always struggled with the AI around this circuit, and it'd be good to see if I could try and pull that off and somehow remain competitive. And I'm looking forward to it as we now jump into qualifying here for the qualifying session here at Bahrain. And Q1 to kick things off in the last race in Australia, we got all the way to Q3, and we almost qualified best of the rest. I think we would have pulled that off and would have achieved it had it not been for our lap getting invalidated in Q3. So I think for this one, the target has to be to at least get into Q2. I think we've got the pace for that, and I think that could be achievable with the car we have if we get it right. But obviously, being realistic, this track, once again, is a strong track for the AI. So we've got to make sure we're absolutely perfect on both of our laps here as we go out for our first run in this session in qualifying. And our first lap here, a pretty good banker, 1.2 down on Bottas after 2 sectors. And up until this point, pretty damn good, but I actually lose quite a bit of time in the final sector, which is quite frustrating, even though it's only literally one corner and a straight. So yeah, not ideal as we throw the car into the final corner just under 10 minutes ago, and getting a nice bit of traction there as well, using the curve on the left hand side, running overtake mode to the line, and we're going to see what lap it is, and it's going to be enough for P19, 1.6 off the pace. So overall, to be fair, pretty close. The entire grid is relatively close together in this Q1 session as we now get ready for our final Banzai attempt here with 2 minutes to go. Let's run on board for an entire lap of the Bahrain International Circuit.
Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap. Well, that's qualifying over for us.
Down towards turn 1, braking at the 100 meter board, down to first gear just to pick up the rotation, briefly up to third on the short shift and on the power as soon as possible, and try and go flat out as early as you can. Up the hill now, up towards turn 4, looking for the 100 meter board as your reference. Use all the curb on the left hand side as you now rotate in towards turn 4, using second gear actually to get some extra front end rotation. And in hindsight, I actually broke very early for turn 1. I threw away about a tenth of a second at turn 1 by braking early, so I could be about 3 tenths up if I'd got it spot on up until this point. And we've now got a bit of traffic here in the form of the Racing Point, which is not ideal as we race down towards turn 10, the hardest corner on the racetrack, carrying a massive lock up into the apex, and again throwing away another tenth or so, or tenth and a half into that apex. We do get a bit of a slipstream though from the Racing Point in the back straight here, and we're going to pull to the right hand side, but overall we've missed the apex there again and we're going to touch the outside curb, which is not ideal through there either. Flat out for the next right though, and across sector 2, and we are 1 second down on Bottas as we now go in towards the start of the final sector. And I didn't get the best run through here. I actually lost a tenth just by carrying a poor corner exit alone, which was quite frustrating as we now go down towards the final corner, braking as the DRS detection point appears, picking up the apex on the power as soon as possible, and then run overtake ERS to the line. And we are going to improve by about a tenth in a bit, but it's not going to be enough as we only move up to 18th place. And 1.5 of the pace, extremely close, but unfortunately it's not enough for us, and we are actually eliminated from Q1, and the entire grid covered by 1.7 seconds. A very close qualifying, and much closer than what we've had recently. Kubica there out qualifying us by 3 tenths of a second to be fair, and looking at the gaps, I think Q2 could have been possible, but it would have had to have been a perfect lap. We broke too early for turn 1 and then had a scruffy turn 10. But other than that, a decent qualifying, and I'm looking forward to the race because I think we can do better on Sunday. So with that being said, that is it for qualifying here at Bahrain. We're now going to move into the race for round 2 of the season for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's do this.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Renault. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs, but this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Sergio Perez and Magnussen, Vettel, Gasly, Grosjean and Nico Hülkenberg, Fiat, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo and Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Robert Kubica and Alexander Albon, Martinez and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, so here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, starting from 19th place on the grid. Our teammate Robert Kubica right in front of us. We're going to try our best here today, starting from the last row. Not last place, but still very far back. But I feel confident we've got some better race pace, and I think we should be able to do okay on 110% AI around here. And it's going to be a much bigger challenge than what we used to. The target is to probably get, I want to say, at least top 15, and get above that kind of Q2 range if possible. But in terms of strategy today, we are going to start on the medium tyres and then go onto the hards. I'm expecting a lot of people in front of us to have qualified on the medium, so I'm not expecting strategy to be a major X factor here today. Fuel-wise, we are running 1 extra lap of fuel, and we're going to just try our best to be aggressive and hope to have some decent race pace to cut through the field. With that being said, though, let's jump into it. It's time for round 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's boot up the revs and try and get a good start here. Our starts have been good lately as the 5 lights are on. And it's lights out and away we go. It's another decent start. We are going to switch and get to the inside line, but there's a bit of a roadblock here with this McLaren in front of us. We are going to go down the inside though. I'm going to back out a little bit as I see some debris go flying. Some end plate, Giovinazzi on the inside line. We're going to go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo here. Good exit, and we've got the run on Kimi. We're going to go to the outside line. There's some space here which I can definitely attack. Around the outside of turn 4. Up to 15th place. Good start from us on the medium tyre. We're now going to carry the speed through here. I think I can go for a little bit of a late braking move. On Daniel Ricciardo, it's going to be close. We are going to have the inside line. Ricciardo tractioning up on the curve. It's side by side with the Alfa as we go down towards turn 10. Side by side with the Honey Badger. Still side by side, but we are going to get the better traction. And there we go, up to 14th place. Fantastic start. Ricciardo right on my gearbox here as we go towards the end of the straight and get towards the end of the second 2. We've got Lando Norris in the Haas on hard tyres in front. So let's get stuck in straight away and try and make a move on him, because he will have the advantage at the end of the race. So it's important to make that move. Let's see if we've got race pace. I think we might do. My race pace traditionally is pretty good around here. I'm just very poor over 1 lap. But Norris is definitely a car that we can overtake. We know that because of the hard tyre. He's going to be struggling for pace. I wonder if anybody else is running the hard tyre in front. We'll find out. But a good start from us. Very good lap 1. We needed to be aggressive. And we were. We've had a very, very good opener for a change. And that's put us in contention. That's actually scored some points already, which is fantastic. That's the Haas cars, I believe. A Haas and a Renault doing battle in front. That's going to hold everybody up, and that's going to give us a chance to really close up to Norris here. This hairpin is going to be a popular overtaking spot, I think. I gained quite a lot on the brakes there, but I think I've also noticed that McLaren in front, Carlos Sainz, who retired in the last race as we get very deep into turn 10, he's also on a hard tyre, so we need to get past him as well. But at the moment, it's looking pretty good. We actually had good pace. We was actually pulling away from Ricciardo until that mistake, so it's looking so far so good. Get past a couple of these cars and we'll be in the points. So let's get a head down and try and get after these guys.
Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled.
It's 3 wide in front. You'd love to see it. This is my chance to really catch up here. Both Haas cars are on hard tyres and so is the McLaren, so we need to get past all of these guys. I think that Toro Rosso isn't on hard tyres. We're dropping Ricciardo as well, which is good news. But here we go then into turn 4. These guys are going very slow on the hard tyre. We are going to get the traction and get the progress here and get ahead of Norris down the inside. Stop him from hanging around the outside preferably. I thought about it there down the inside of Grosjean, but no way through. Let's get past Grosjean and Sainz through on hard tyres and then we'll be into the points. Actually, that would be P11, I think. So we need to get past that Toro Rosso as well. Let's not run deep this time. There we go. Good exit from us, but that Haas is pretty good on the straight. So we'll have to just sit behind for now and wait for our opportunity. Looks like Grosjean is very quick on the straight, attacking Sainz there in the brake zone. Let's try and get a nice little 2-for-1 overtake and try and time this correctly. Getting a lot of dirty air here, just understeering so much, I have to get off the gas. Very close to these guys. Looks like Grosjean's going to try and send one here, I think, already. Even before the final corner, he's going to get alongside. We're just going to pick up the toe and sit back and let it unfold. We're going to go underneath Sainz. There we go. Turn the engine up. Sainz gets a good exit. Sainz has got wing damage, I've just noticed, so that's why he's going slow. But here we go. We've got the straight line speed. We're going to box in the McLaren and blast past both of them. Job done. Up to P11. A bit hot on the brakes there. The overspeed catching me out with the DRS, but we are going to still maintain the position. And up to 11th place now. Fantastic start to the race. Really good pace in this car. Let's get off the Kvyat, and I can see up the road there's some more midfield cars battling away, so let's try and get amongst it. This is important, these laps are important, while this medium tyre is better than the hard tyre, to have good race pace and try and establish a gap over our midfield competitors. Good pace, personal best 31.3. I'm trying to drop the cars behind and I'm doing that. They're now out of DRS and they're continuing to battle. So we can now focus on Kvyat and trying to get past that Toro Rosso, and then we'll be into the points, which is fantastic. And you know, our battle with Toro Rosso stretches far back to last season in terms of the better constructor. So let's try and prove to them that we are the better team. Another personal best. We're not really catching Kvyat at the minute. The gap's kind of staying the same. They're battling very heavily into turn 1. You can see in front of us a Red Bull, a Renault, and a Racing Point. So I want to try and get involved.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Another personal best, gain some more ground on Kvyat there. We're slowly chipping away at his gap. If we can just get within DRS, that makes things a lot easier for me. But the pace is good. Car feels fantastic, I can't lie. It felt really good in race trim. There we go, in DRS now of Kvyat. I've had a fantastic lap so far. The first sector was unreal. I found 0.2 of a second. I'm just going to try and turn the engine up here to really make sure we close in on the Toro Rosso and make some progress. The cars in front are not really battling enough for us to really catch, unfortunately. It seems like both myself and Kvyat are just lacking a little bit of pace to really catch up to those midfield guys. But look at this lap, 2.5 tenths up here. Let's try and turn the engine up, make sure we definitely get DRS on the pit straight, which is where we want it. The back straight is not really long enough to feel the effects of DRS. A little bit hot on the brakes on purpose there, just to make sure we could brake and get the detection. And there we go, we've done it. Now we can use DRS to really close the gap here. 30.9, and there we go. We're fully gaining slipstream. I'm going to use it to save a little bit of battery. Got another DRS zone coming up now, so again, another chance to save the battery. I'm going to probably spend the lap behind Kvyat trying to charge things up a little bit, and then we'll deploy it to overtake him.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
I'm hanging in there with DRS, but I'm not really close enough. We've got a Mercedes in the pit lane there. There's contact between the two of them. I'm going to sit back for now and just kind of follow. I think Hamilton's going to probably re-overtake him, so we're just going to sit back and watch this unfold. Might be able to pick up the scraps. They both go side by side, a bit deep into turn 4 there. Verstappen around the back of me, I've got to be careful, but Hamilton goes around the outside of Kvyat there. Makes the move. Let's try and follow these guys and stay within the DRS range of Kvyat the entire time. Verstappen, it won't take him long to get past though. I've got to be much more efficient through there. That's not ideal. Got to try and stick with Kvyat because he's got the ice on Lewis, which isn't good for us. That was an early stop though for the leaders. I'm wondering if they start the race on soft tyres, which was surprising. I think Verstappen might have a chance of getting past me here. I need to turn the engine up. I need to respond because Kvyat's getting away. I need full power. I think I might have dropped out of the DRS range. No, I haven't. I'm still in. That's good. Alright, engine turn up. And we're pulling away from Verstappen. Look at this. The Williams car showing its straight line speed this year. Let's try and close up to Kvyat.
Some information on Kvyat. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
There it is. That's what we wanted. A little bit of luck to go our way. You're going to notice it straight away how slow he is. There he is. Struggling through the corners. We're going to go down the inside. We both lock up, but we go down the inside of the Russian and take the position. Thank you very much. And away we go. Nice and easy through here. Let's not overdo it. As Verstappen goes down the inside, they'll run the outside actually. I think we're pitting next lap anyway, so we haven't got long left on these tyres, so let's keep pushing. Yeah, Max is right on the back of us here. I'm not going to fight him. I'm going to go down to low ERS and let him take the outside.
In this lap, push now.
I'm going to let him take the outside line. Let him take the position. There we go. Try and lose as least time as possible, and we'll pick up the DRS through here, which is good. That way we can recover for lost time by letting him through. And there we go. Okay, good in lap so far.
Don't forget, box this lap.
Yep, we're going to pit in and go onto the hard tyres. So a very straightforward one-stop strategy. Nice and easy now through the front of the corner, on the power. There we go, nice bit of traction, and now into the pit lane we go. Good entry, very good. I thought we sped there, but good entry. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold that Renault up. We are going to hold up the racing point though of Magnussen a little bit. We need a good stop from the boys.
Release.
Fantastic. 1.892, and we pulled away at a phenomenal time, and the release time of the clutch was perfect. Up to speed.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So we're going to join in with the kind of lower midfield. Crucially, we've got clean air though. Let's try and switch on these hard tyres, which are quite hard to really get the temperature. It's going to be a big battle brewing in front of us though, at least for this lap. So it's going to be a good chance for us to close up to the guys in front. Kubica pits in. Let's see how many more others come in. We've got some action in front of us though, between McLaren and the Racing Point, as we've got cars in the pit lane.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Up to P15. We've got Sainz and Magnussen battling away, so let's try and get close to those guys. Again, I don't think I've got the pace, but if they battle, we can definitely pick up the scraps, as they're going to continue their battle into Sector 2. Personal best 30.7, good pace. Straight away on the hard tyre, setting personal best lap times, that's very encouraging. And we are closing up to Sainz here, which is also good. Right, we're on the back of Sainz now, of course, he's got that wing damage from when he started the race. So we've essentially pulled out a pit stop gap to Sainz, as we're going to re-overtake him now. So let's try and get past the McLaren. That's a quick car though, I can't lie, he's running at a very strong pace, even though he's got damage on his wing. We're going to be around the back of him through here though, he's going to struggle through this section. Bit of a lock up from us, so we're running a bit hot with the dirty air. Let's try and get past the McLaren here, whilst picking up DRS as well, preferably. To the outside we go. Side by side with Sainz, around the outside we go, and we do get DRS, there we go. Beautifully executed overtake. And we leave signs behind, more cars in the pit lane. Up to P11 we now progress, and we got Magnussen just up the road here. So running a bit hot again there into turn 1, got to be careful with that. The overspeed always catching me out. At the minute it seems like we might have pace here to get past Magnussen. Personal best, and the final car to pit in does pit in, Lando Norris. So we're now into the points in this race and on course for at least a P10 finish at best. Let's keep it going though, we've got good pace here, and we're keeping up and actually catching Magnussen a little bit. There we go, DRS on K-Mag, we've done it. Now we've got to try and stay within a second, have a couple of laps to save and harvest some energy and fuel, and then we'll attack him. Personal best 30.3, I haven't quite got DRS unfortunately, but we are now getting within range of the racing point, and we're also catching that Renault as well, so there could be a few points on the table here if we hold this pace for the rest of the race. There we go, we're now within DRS of the racing point, a little bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 1, but we're now within range of Magnussen, which is good.
Quick tyre update for you. Everything's looking nice and tidy on our end. Let us know if you start to feel any issues.
Nope, everything feels nice and tidy on my end as well, as we're now within range of Magnussen, well within range. I'm kind of slowly progressing because I'm trying not to turn up the engine that much. I want to try and save some fuel in the RS, and it looks like Magnussen's turned the engine down a bit, so we're going to turn ours down. That's a good chance. If I can save deploying ERS and fuel on these long straights and just follow him for at least one more lap, and then we'll try and unleash an attack on the racing point, because it's not just about overtaking, it's also about overtaking and then pulling away, which is it's a two-step process. So for now we're just going to sit behind and follow and save fuel in the RS whilst we can. Okay, getting in position.
Some information on Kvyat. They're retiring from the race.
So then Kvyat, the man with car trouble earlier on, has now retired. First retirement of the Grand Prix, no VSC or safety car, but here we go, we're gaining on Magnussen here. That racing point is bloody fast in the straight, but we're faster. Down the inside we go, block up, but we are going to get it done straight away. And not even allowed to go around the outside. He is right on my gearbox though, he's had a good exit. But we've got DRS, so we should be okay to stay in front of the racing point here. And there we go, job done, up to P9. Hulkenberg just up the road. Can we find a bit more pace to try and catch that Renault possibly? Magnussen brought my gearbox here. He's stuck with me, of course. Haven't been able to pull away.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Big block up into turn 1. We had to control that, and we did. Good exit as well through 2 and 3, so that's going to keep Magnussen away from us. Here comes Magnussen again. He's closer this time. Will he go down the inside? I don't think he will. A little bit more cautious on the brakes this time, and we don't lock up or run deep. We've got those medium tyre guys catching up though. One of them's going through turn 1, I believe it's Lando Norris. I've got to try and pull away. We're not catching Hulkenberg. We don't really have the pace unfortunately, so it's going to be all about holding on to P9 I think. Magnussen's very close this lap. Extra close. We're going to have to defend this time. Cover the inside line. Okay, maybe around the outside. We're going to comfortably hold on though. He's going to try around the outside, but there's no way through there. And that's going to take the pressure off all the way up this straight, which is good. A few more laps to go. Let's hold on to this. Good exit this time. But I think Magnussen will still get the run. Or not. I think we should be okay actually. We're going to go down to none. I'll try and save ERS. I'm starting to get a little bit low. All this overtake on the pit straight is starting to really kill me when it comes to my ERS. Fantastic exit through 2 and 3, so that's going to take the pressure off. We can afford to leave it in none all the way up this straight. Magnussen's on the back of me here. It's time for a tactical let him overtake. We need to save fuel in the ERS because I can't keep driving like this. So I'm going to use the same tactic Magnussen's been using on me the last few laps, which is what I did to him in the first place. It's basically like chess. I'm going to use that against him once more to try and save some fuel in the RS to then pass him definitively in the latter stages. Hopefully I'm not making a mistake here and I'm not going to be able to not re-overtake him. I think I can though. I feel confident I've got the pace to re-overtake him. Magnussen's really going for this. He's trying to stretch me, trying to hang on. We might have to just accept it and go into neutral engine mode at least to hang on to the racing point because he's dropping me. Okay then, we need to close up here. Time for the tactical re-overtake. Onto the last lap of the race. There we go, at the final corner. Turn the engine up, give it everything. Closing the best into the 129s as we gain on the racing point here. Magnussen, good straight line speed here. He will go defensive. I'm going to go for a switchback. Magnussen locks up. He's going to leave a space for us to attack. Let's get the exit. Up the hill now towards turn 4. We're gaining to the inside line. A little bit deep on the brakes there. That's going to allow the switchback to occur, but we just fend it off. There we go. Good move. Back into P9 on the last lap of the race. Let's hold on to this now. Right, here we go, then we should be okay now. Hamilton wins it in Bahrain for Mercedes in the desert. Dare I say, us keeping Verstappen behind.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Us keeping Verstappen behind might have just cost Verstappen the win, but here we go, last corner. Nice and easy here, let's make no mistakes. Nice and smooth on traction. And there we go, job done. It's going to be P9 for us in the Bahrain Grand Prix, and that is a fantastic result. Get in. What a result.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing. Great, well that's everything.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Hamilton wins in the desert ahead of Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc, P3 for Ferrari, and the 1-2 is the same as the last race, but this time it's Leclerc on the third step of the podium ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel, P5 once again, and then Sergio Perez, P6, best of the rest, and beating Pierre Gasly there. Fantastic result from him. And then we've got Hulkenberg in 8, ourselves in P9, driver of the day, and scoring 2 points. Absolutely fantastic. Did not expect that one bit. And then we've got Magnussen running out the points in the racing point, and then we've got Norris, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Kubica, Albon, Giovinazzi, Stroll, Ricciardo, Sainz, all missing out the points, with Kvyat in the end retiring from the Grand Prix due to multiple car issues. And shout out to Kubica as well, only 10 seconds behind me, and in P14, that's a good result for him. And overall for us as a team, it's a good result. In terms of the standings though, for the first time this season, let's look at the Drivers' Championship, and we are in 6th place, just behind the two Ferraris, equal in points with Pierre Gasly, which is something I didn't think I'd be saying this early on. And Hamilton leads the way already, 16 points clear at the top of the table. And in terms of the constructors, we are in 4th, so we are the 4th best constructor, pretty much best of the rest so far, thanks to my points tally. So overall, really happy with that one. Racing Point breathing down the neck, and then there's a bit of a gap to Haas and Renault, which is good. So overall, a positive race here today, guys. But that is it for this episode of Career Mode. We're now going to step up a few points and try and have a big upgrade package for the European season, guys. So we're just going to have a couple of races where we just kind of, get by with our current package. But if you guys enjoyed this video and this episode of Career Mode, then be sure to drop a like on the video and also get subscribed subscribed if you are new, guys, for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me, and also finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you guys in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.